Hello my viewers, welcome back to the channel. By the video title, you know what this video is about. We're discussing some Steelers news, got some injury updates for the team. As you guys know, Jaylen Warren is expected to miss some weeks. They say he has the hamstring injury. He's expected to miss multiple weeks, according to the NFL. They say he might not be able to make week 1. They say it depends. You know, it's kind of like be determined a little bit to see if he's going to be healthy enough to play the first game against the Falcons. I think if he's not 100%, you just let him sit out. It's a lot of football left. That'd be different, you know, if it was like a crazy injury where he missed like maybe the first 5 or 6 weeks. But I think missing one game is not going to hurt the team too bad. Najee Harris is the running back 1 on the roster. Dajon Edwards, the one we had in preseason, looked pretty solid, looked pretty good as well. Explosive as well, too. I think he might be a guy you can utilize. Of course, Cordarrelle Patterson is still on the team. He looked a little sluggish when he did play a little bit, but he's still capable of going out there and being a solid rotational piece when Najee need a breather or something. But I think you shouldn't try to rush Jaylen Warren out there. Just let him heal up, come back, so we can get that 1-2 punch back with him and Najee. Now, Herbig, he suffered a severe injury, which is a big loss. Not big loss, but a loss to the Steelers. You know, he suffered a torn rotator cuff. Now, as you guys know, he was kind of like the starter a little bit, but I think Zach Frazier's on the verge of beating him out anyway. They had Zach Frazier getting the first team reps when Herbig did get injured. And even before he getting injured a little bit, kind of like easing him up until getting to that spot. Herbig had like a little bad performance in preseason, so kind of like dropped his stock of starting a little bit more. But he was a nice depth piece to have because he can play multiple positions inside the O-line. So the Steelers might go out there and probably find somebody else to maybe get a backup center for them to have like depth for depth purposes. I know McCormick is a guy who we drafted. Of course, he's pretty solid interior lineman. He's a nice solid like player. But I think the Steelers could go out there and maybe bring another guy in if they want to add more depth. But as of for now, I think he might miss the whole season. Herbig is the rotator cuff injury. A torn rotator cuff might be like a what, for 5 months, 6 months, or something, some severe amount of time. So he probably gonna miss the whole season most likely. He's saying it might he's saying like kind of gonna miss the season, but with an injury like that, he's gonna miss the whole season. So it's a loss, of course, because of depth pieces. But I think overall we'll still be good. The offensive linemen, you know, had a lot of different struggles and injuries in preseason a little bit. But I think they emerged well once they get a little more chemistry with each other. Fatanu had the knee injury. I think it's nothing severe. It might just be like some soreness, maybe a sprain in the knee. So hopefully he's back by week 1. And Broderick Jones can move back to his original spot, which would be left tackle. And then also we can just see everybody kind of get back like right. I know Peyton Wilson had an injury, like I mentioned in the last video. He suffered from a concussion. As you guys know, entering the season, or entering from college, he had a lot of injuries in college. He had an injury to his shoulder before, had an injury to his knee before, and had a back injury as well. So he played well in college. I thought he was going to be a second-round pick or at worst, like a third-round pick type of time, like around that range. But, you know, the injuries plagued him in college, and, you know, it kind of dropped his stock a little bit. And, you know, sometimes when you come into the NFL injured, usually don't turn out too well. You usually don't get healthy as the time goes on. So hopefully he can find a way to at least be consistently healthy a good amount of period of time, so like the injuries will be lingering on with him like that and stopping his greatness, because he has potential to be pretty good, especially playing out there with Patrick Queen and Landon Roberts. We have a nice little inside linebacker group. Mark Robinson looked pretty solid too as well. You know, he was a guy who was a running back at first. They converted him over to a linebacker, and he's been doing pretty good. They're still developing him well and well, but he's a solid rotational piece. So we have a lot of nice pieces. We just need the health. The guys stay healthy. Remember, I mentioned that before in the video I did discussing the confidence in the defense. I said it's all about health. Like that, and now it's kind of the offense a little bit too with the injuries going on. But Alex Highsmith, he has a groin injury. You know, the edge rusher, of course. We need him. I think he'll be back by week 1, but we'll see what happens. Groin injuries, hamstring injuries, injuries like that, calf injuries, those kind of linger on with you. So I guess they like been resting guys out like that, letting them like heal up fully, so it won't be no lingering issue that as when the season starts. But hopefully our team can just stay healthy. Good thing the injury bug is happening now, before the season is getting going. So once the season starts, we have no trouble with all that injuries and all that crazy stuff, because like it's better to have the injuries now than to have it like of course later down the line when you're like, okay, it's in mid-season when we need the team, or it's in of course the end of the season when we need guys to show up and stuff, but the injury happens. So get the injuries out the way right now, and then we'll see what happens. A lot of the fans are going crazy because the preseason games saying the offense looked horrible and all this stuff. I feel like they're trying a lot of different lineups, and everyone really had like a lot of time to get chemistry with each other. But I think by week 1, we'll see a completely different Steelers team. I think they get everything figured out. They always find a way to figure everything out. Last year, we looked very good on preseason. And what happened when the regular season started? We looked horrible. You know, in 49ers game, we got jacked up. The Browns game, the offense couldn't score any points. Defense scored more points than them. And then the week after against the Raiders, they had one good game. Then they went back down to reality when they got blown out by the Texans. When I was there in the front row to watch that massacre, my first Steelers game. So hopefully this year, you know, they had struggles in the preseason, but the struggles got out the way and kind of helped them develop and get well enough and ready enough and prepared enough for the first game, which was against the Falcons in week 1. So we'll see what happens when that happens. But this is like the update for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, like and subscribe. Feel free to comment. And yeah, I'll see you guys probably tomorrow on another video. Peace out.